Hello, welcome. This is Homa. And in the last videos, I spent some work on adding or switching the test framework from Jest to Mocha, Chai, and Karma. And after the videos ends and I work on it a little bit more, I just find that the watch mode that the Jest provide is just too important to abandon. It helps a lot during the development. So in this video, I'm going to work on making it work on both sides. So on Node.js, it will be running using Jest, while on the browser side, it will continue using Karma, Mocha, and Chai. So let's get to it. But before that, I want to mention something which is about the series, and is this. In the past few videos, which are just like this one, is a live stream, and the name of the videos are Code Tomato Lives 1 to 4 and 1 to 6, and I find that it could be a little bit confusing because I have Komondors in it, and I also add videos on Assertron. So since working on open source project is valuable to the viewer, to you, in knowing what's the sequence of the videos is, instead of just looking at the timestamp. And so the numbers is important. So I'm starting from these videos, I'm going to rename the videos so that each open source project has their own series. I'll figure out a name for Assertron, but for Komondor, I will use the name Walking Komondor. And so the first 4 videos will translate directly to Walking Komondor 1 to 4, and then the 6th one is actually 5th. And so this one, as you may notice, is Walking Komondor 6. So now let's get started. So here's the code. I have already made some change, and then to get back to the at the end of last video, somehow the I thought the Karma doesn't work, and what happened is it was just a typo because over here I was when I was copy and paste, I'm missing an R. I didn't notice that during the recording. So after doing this just worked. And then also I also want to mention that besides Karma TypeScript, there are several other preprocessors for TypeScript. One I mentioned in the last video is Karma-TS, and then there's another one, Karma-TypeScript preprocessor, and then also there's one preprocessor 2. I tried the preprocessor 1, it still also works fine, but since still this is the one that most people use, I'll keep it like that. And also, since the my usage on Karma in this project will be light, and I'll explain that. So I'm completely happy with just using it and keep things simple. So as I mentioned, the Jest test, the watch mode, is really a huge time saver when you are coding, and so I don't want to abandon it. And I can show you what I mean. Say right now when I'm running npm run watch mode, which is using the Jest, and of course right now I already switched it to 2, so there's only one test. But in the watch mode, you can do a lot of things. You can filter by the file name, and then you can filter by the test name, and so on. And So also in Jest 23 version 23, they have re-architectured it so that the watch mode will only become more powerful. They make it as a plugins, and you can later on add more stuff to it. If needed, I might jump into it and do something about that. There's certain things I have in mind. But it is a really powerful feature. So what's the game plan here? And so the game plan here is, and it works only for my projects, and in this case for the Komondor, is because I don't want to overuse the framework or library, and so Jest provide you with a lot of different features, right? And say the Jest, in the Jest you can use you can set timeout, and you can use, it has some mocking system built in, and it has its own assertion built in. And but for myself, I don't use those, and I use the assert that came from Node.js itself. And I don't use the mock because when you use the mock system in Jest, it is very powerful, but it also means that the way you write your code likely do not have the clean architecture, so that you would not able to mock or stop your dependencies other than using the Jest mock. So that's why, for myself, I don't use it. And then for for this project, the Komondor project, it is, you can think of it as a mean to do the mocking, but it's just with the real-time data, and I think that is much more powerful. And so because of that, the as I said, the Jest, the feature that I use from Jest is very minimal, and because of that, the code base, the test code that I wrote, can be run interchangeably by Jest and Mocha. So as you can see here, Jest can run this test, and then also if I run the browser version, which will use Mocha, it will also work. Although there is a slight problem here. Let me just take a quick look. Cannot find name it, and this is something that we're going to fix. Right, so what happened is it's just because I removed the types. So if you remember in the last video, I add the Mocha's type, so that's why it appears. But then I work on it a little bit and then remove it. So right now, that's why it's not working. So anything changed since last? So let me first remove the extra. Comma type script. Let's remove that. You can see that I was testing it. And then I'm using the power assert so that it can be used both on the server and the browser side. So that is gone, and then going to install in this case Jest, because I want to leverage the same typings in Jest, because I'm going to develop mostly in Node.js mode, because I'm going to run the test in watch mode. So with that, and then now run the test browser, it should pass. There you go. So this work, and then the and then run watch old using the Jest also, as I already showed, it also works. So during the development, what I'm going to do is I run the watch mode, but from time to time, or when I prepare to release, I can run this before that, and to make sure everything works. Or I can also actually turn this on and make it watch itself, so that it will run by itself and make sure that nothing fails. So what I mean here is I can do this. I think is auto run equals to true, and then remove the single run, and then let me separate, have a side-by-side terminal and test browser. So it's running here, and then over here I can also run Jest in watch mode. And then so say I throw a new error just to fail the test, and you can see it fell here, and then it also fell here. So I can have two two test systems running together at the same time, so that I will able to catch any breakage on both sides. While when I'm coding, I mostly focus on the Jest version, so that I can filter things and do tests, and focus, I can focus on the specific test when while I'm working using the filtering. So that's nice. And is there anything else I need to do over here? Let's see. So I think actually that's good. That's sufficient for my needs. So the last things I'm going to do is to do some cleanup on this, because I was testing, and changing the scripts, so that now the watch mode on this will be switch back to Jest, while the test will also keep in Jest. So I'm not running Mocha directly, and the only new thing is the test browser, which I can run it on the side. Is there anything else on the CI? I would want to run this, and then I also want to run test browser. And then this is CI verified, and then I want to do the same thing during normal verify, which now I don't use as much, but for complete sake, I would want to still keep that updated. So that's should be good. The code coverage, I will rely on Jest. So that's also another reason that the Karma one, I can keep it very basic, because I have the Jest to do the code coverage. I think that's good. That's it, and I can actually check this in, although it's on the branch, so it won't affect the main build. But this is a good place to record the change that I've made. So anyway, so this is a shorter videos, and hope you find it useful. And we'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, the next video, just want to mention that we will really start on working on the version 7, so stay tuned for that. All right.